Hello everybody, we are here with your Cthulhu solo guide. Cthulhu, not the strongest character right now, I would say. Still makes more sense over in the solo lane. By the nature of his kit, he really isn't much of a support. So you're going to want to rock him in the solo, which means we're going to be getting ourselves a Vampiric Shroud, a Chalice of Healing, couple of multi-pots, and our teleport. I still see a lot of people going Blink in the solo lane. And listen, Blink is still a good solo lane active. You're going to love it when you get to the team fights and you get to blink in on people and be annoying. But more annoying than that is being ahead in XP. So if you are not either 110% confident in your solo, or you basically want to guarantee that you're going to be even XP, I happen to think that teleport is really good on this new bigger map. You still get great rotations later on in the game. You get to stay in your lane and farm a little bit more. So I highly recommend the teleport. I rock teleport on all my solo laners right now. I think the XP in gold value that you get from it is just too high. It also really minimizes the possible deficits of getting ganked over and over and over again. And Lord knows that I love to get ganked. So on Cthulhu, we're going to grab our one first. It's going to be great for this little jungle clear in the early game. It's a little bit of a lower cooldown. And traditionally, this is also going to be the ability that we max first. Back in the day, some of the other abilities used to have a little bit more POW on them. The 2 and the 3 used to provide a little bit more incentive to leveling them. But in general, I like the 1 poke now. The extra damage that you used to get on the 3, I kind of just use it more as a traditional getaway skill now, so I level up the 1 to max. At level 2, I have gotten my 2 here, and that's because it's slightly going to be a better ability for clearing. Now, I am against a Cuchulainn here in the laning phase. Cuchulainn, widely considered to be the best solo laner right now, so your job against Cuchulainn is basically to chill out in the lane and just go for the farm. You're not gonna beat him most of the time. Let's see what he's got. He has got a bluestone pendant that's actually good for me. That's gonna give me some opportunities actually to fight back into him, and it means that my poke is going to matter. When you're playing against a Cuchulainn in the solo, and you're going to be a lot right now, you need to be very careful with your HP. If you get down to about half HP, he can probably kill you, and you need to constantly be watching his rage meter. That's that little meter right below his character. At any time you start to see that get filled up, you need to get out of dodge, let him waste his rage, because when that AoE damage is going around him, that's when he's going to get the most damage on you, and it's really hard to deal with on any god in the solo in the early game. Keep in mind, he will rage out on that that first incoming wave when you get to lane. So he's going to get that level 2 rage like every single time. So just be aware of that and be ready to play back against Cuchulainn.
On my way. Gank left lane.
So on my Lulu, we're ranking up that 1 to max, just that little cone damage in front of us, and it also has that percent mitigation factor on it if the target has gone absolutely loco. But for the most part, we're not super concerned about that. We're just using it for the poke right in front of us. We're gonna level up our ultimate whenever we can. Then we're gonna get our 2 for the cooldown, and then our 3. So my level order right now for Lulu is 4, 1, 2, 3. Now with our Vamp Shroud and our potions, you can actually see that we're sustaining up quite nicely. And I don't have to be crazy afraid of the Cuchulainn when he does not have his ultimate up. But he has transformed now and he's level 5, so I need to try to kill this creep to get level 5. Unfortunately, we're gonna trade out here. Ooh, I'm not gonna get the kill credit for him. That's a bit of a bummer. He has also got teleport, so we're gonna teleport back to lane. You can actually see my ultimate go off and not quite do the damage. I didn't get credit for going off, but you can see me try to get that level 5 and get it off. So we're gonna grab our full Shoes of the Magi. This is gonna give us some nice early damage, and we're gonna teleport right back over to the lane. Cuchulainn has also opted for that teleport, so we're not gonna get any farming advantage against him, but you can see already in that situation where we go for that 1-for-1 trade,
Take this jungle buff.
if one of us did not have teleport right there, we're basically gonna miss an entire wave.
Gank right lane.
And that's just right off the bat. Ooh, he has jumped in right now. We should go for this fight. I'm calling for him to come in here. I'm trying to bait my body right now. I'm gonna use my ultimate. I'm gonna save my 2 for after he dashes. Oh, not gonna be able though. Looks like the Loki came over just in time to save him. So now we're just gonna get off as much damage as we can, and I gotta be careful with the CTHULHU coming back in on me. So the Outquang there should have come in a little bit earlier, looking for that gank. He waited too long. The dash was already down on the CTHULHU. He saw him use his jump. The second CTHULHU used his jump, Outquang should have come in there and he would have been able to grab himself a quick little kill. Now, I do not have the blue buff right now, which is going to make the laning phase until I get my next blue pretty hard. He's about to get his rage mechanic back up again, so I've got to make sure that I'm sitting back underneath the tower. You can see how oppressive the CTHULHU is. It's the reason why he is the #1 pick and ban right now for the solo lane. Now, I am going to have to back right here because if I stay any longer and he rages out, he's going to be able to grab a kill on me. So we're going to back it up and we're going to start working on our Breastplate of Valor. Breastplate of Valor, traditionally the first item that you're going to go on Guardian solos. Chances are you're against a physical solo laner and a physical jungler, so you're going to get 2 times the value out of that Breastplate of Valor in the solo lane for your defenses. Now, CTHULHU is currently doing our jungle. That is exactly what you want to be doing in the solo lane. When you start getting that little lead, you want to start rotating into the enemy jungle, start taking those 2 little back camps. Those 2 little back camps should basically be your camps. You want to keep them on absolute lockdown. Gonna get you ahead by giving you some extra XP, but it's also gonna help put the enemy jungler behind, which is very important. So if he jumps in on these fights, I'm gonna try to look for some quick poke. My ultimate's coming up in 5. There is a Loki over here, so I need to be careful. I hurt himself, and I'm playing back underneath my tower, gonna try to go get my blue buff. On Cthulhu, your traditional combination is just going to be using your 2 to start off the fight. That is going to get that root if you hit them with both parts of your 2. So if you only hit one part, it's going to be a little slow, but if you hit both parts, that is going to be a root. And then you're going to follow up with your 1 right on top of them since they're rooted, and then using your dash to get away. So you're traditionally going to be looking for this 2, try to land the 2, he jumps away, then I land my 1, and then I try to dash through him to get some distance between us while I'm waiting once again for my cooldown. That is how you're normally going to do your poke on CTHULHU. Obviously, you can use your 3 to catch up to people as well, but in the laning phase when you're just trying to get in and get out and do that poke, that's how you're going to be looking to do it for maximum efficiency. CTHULHU just used his jump actually right now, so I'm actually going to dash towards him. He's about to rage out, but he's pretty low in HP and he knows that he's going to have to back soon. So he might actually just back immediately and go for the teleport if it's up. Now he's going to have to deal with that wave, so I'm going to run into his jungle and try to see what is up. My teleport is also up, so if I die going for these camps, it's honestly okay. As long as I steal away the camp first, I'm going to end up in a better spot farm-wise. So solo lane is fascinating right now, and I mean that unironically. Dying in solo lane is mostly not relevant as long as you have your teleport up. The actual dying itself, as long as you've cleared the waves and you have your teleport up, you're going to be able to teleport right back in and not miss out on any farm. So you're better off going aggressive into the enemy jungle and stealing their farm than you are necessarily playing it super duper safe. Now that's for after you get out of the ultra early laning phase. And the ultra early laning phase, you need to be careful because you are liable to get 1v1 by the opposing solo laner, especially if they're a high kill target like a CTHULHU. But after that ultra early game, you should be looking to invade on those back camps. Try to do it around, give or take, that second, third blue buff. speaking of blue buffs, there's a Loki here that's going to be taking my blue buff, which means I might as well take this opportunity to go ahead and back. I actually need 50 gold for my Breastplate of Valor. I'm going to call the enemy missing. I don't know where the Lulu is, but I'm actually going to do these back camps really quick. Then I'm going to back up, teleport into my tower while I'm buying the Breastplate of Valor. So I can teleport over, start that teleport, and then click on my Breastplate of Valor for maximum efficiency. I'll still heal up, but I start that teleport a little bit earlier instead of trying to buy the item and then use my teleport. You can kind of do a 2-for-1 deal. All right, there is a Chernobog that has ulted over here, so I'm gonna throw down a 2 defensively, just using it behind me, so that way if they jump in on me, they will get rooted, and I'm just gonna have to back it up. Chernobog, one of the strongest ADCs in the game right now because of that global ulti that lets him get around the map. So right now, I'm kind of just waiting to get some more poke onto CTHULHU. I can see that he's getting close to his rage, so I'm getting the heck out of dodge. If he tries to dive me underneath this, I do have my ulti up, and I would be okay. Horus trying to get involved over here, but our boy is level 7. He needs to be careful. This is a big, beefy CTHULHU, so our support boy needs to be careful. For our matchups in lane for Lulu, Lulu's got pretty good clear, but he does not have the best clear, so I would watch out for those top tier solo laners right now. Mostly being CTHULHU, but other characters that might give you some trouble are going to be Bellona and Osiris. Both are scaling really well right now, as well as Guan Yu. Those 4 seem to be the major 4 solo laners currently. In order, that's probably CTHULHU, Guan Yu, Bellona, Osiris. Those 4 are by far the most popular solo laners, and they're popular because they're very strong. Guardians do have a small place over in the solo lane, but I would recommend picking Cthulhu when you need magic damage. So Guardian solos right now are more of a, I need some additional magic damage on my team, more so than they are, I'm gonna pick it because it's the best possible thing. So if there's a lot of solo laner bans, that's when Guardians start to look a little bit more appeasing in solo. Or if you have say you have like a Hunter middle and you only have a like Cerberus support as your magic damage. Well, obviously a Cerb support as your magic damage is not going to be enough. So you're gonna need to get a little bit more magic damage on your team. So that's when you're looking to rock a Guardian in the solo, whether that's like a Cthulhu, a Sobek, an RDO, Cerberus. All of those characters right now have a respectable solo. So our Breastplate of Valor is completed. We can get our second active. Your second active in solo is pretty much always going to be Thorns right now. I'm gonna take a look at their composition. They're rocking 1, 2, 3, 4 physicals in 1 magical. So that means that I really want to embrace this physical defense. It's going to help me against all of these ganks. Make sure, how's their healing looking? They've got a little bit of healing, probably not enough for me to warrant a contagion. So I'm actually going to get a little bit of a hybrid action going right here. I'm going to grab myself a Pridven. Going to give me a little bit of physical defenses, and I'm going to grab that shield. I do believe when I come out of the Cthulhu ulti, which can be nice, but I'm really doing this more so for those 40% cooldowns. Haven't been getting a lot of blue buffs this game, right? So I'm not super confident. There's another blue buff that is gone. So I can basically factor out the cooldown that I'm getting from blue buff because I'm not getting a lot of them this game. They've had a lot of pressure over in the solo lane while we've had a lot of pressure over in that duo lane. And so getting up to that 40% CDR is going to be nice. It's also going to let me get more healing procs off of my Vampiric Shroud faster. Now, this is the stage of the game where we're slightly behind, right? Not a lot behind, but slightly behind over in solo. So I'm going to put my head down and get a lot of farm. The CTHULHU has rotated, and he died off that rotation. That is huge for me. So I'm gonna get to catch up so much and start to get my lead. This is where you come back in the solo lane, you wait for that enemy to make a rotation, and then you go aggressive into their jungle, and you start to bring it back. I'm also going to get a deep ward out here in their jungle, closer over by those back harpies, so that I can see when they are spawning. Not super concerned about picking up that blue buff right now. What I want to do is get immediately over into this jungle and take as much of this as I can. Throw down that ward over here so I can see where the jungler is going to be rotating. And all of a sudden, we went from being down about half a level to being up almost 2 levels. Couple of people over by the pyromancer. I got to be a little bit careful for this Poseidon with this Kraken, but I do have my thorns up. So I'm gonna pop my thorns right now and then my ultimate and see if we can't get ourselves a little kill. Loki ultimate is down. I'm probably gonna die here, but I might be able to help the team get a couple of kills before I go down, which is gonna be worth. We grab their horse, we grab their Loki, we make that a 1-for-2 trade. I've got my teleport up for when I respawn so I can get back out into the fight, and that's a super worth trade. So now I'm gonna grab my Pridvin, got that max out CDR. At this stage of the game, you might want to consider ranking up your thorns right about that time that you have 3 items down. I have recently used my thorns, so I am not going to actually upgrade my thorns, and instead I'm going to start working on a void stone in order to get me some of those magical protections, but also a little bit of damage as well. I do have my teleport up if we need it. It is not ranked up though, so I can only teleport to a tier 1 tower. So I'm actually going to start walking over to the right lane, and if they need me over there, I can teleport over to that tier 1 tower in the mid lane and try to be there for them. Farm comes first in the solo lane. Utilize that teleport for the rotations. On the other hand, if I had my tier 1 tower up still, I could also rotate over there and then use my teleport to come back to the lane to make sure I don't miss out on any farm. We have got Oni creeps, so I'm gonna try to get these boys pushed down the lane. Keep my eyes out on those deep wards that we have put out there, so I can see the Loki is potentially coming over here. That is a Chernobog. Oh, I know the Loki's over there, Kukulkan's over there. They got 4 people on this side of the map. I'm gonna go put out a sentry ward near the fire giant because they could be getting set up for this. Our hunter puts out a ward, so I'm gonna save mine to use as a counter ward, and I do need to be frontlining for my team. Let's see if we can't force that jump off of the Ku. We're gonna be able to. Good damage from our Ao Kuang, as well as Chernobog dash down. I'm gonna be looking for this Chernobog in the backline because I know his dash is down. Diving right on into him, popping the ulti immediately. We should hopefully be able to grab that kill right off the bat. Now I'm looking for the horse, gonna hit him with the 2, which is the stun. Popping the 3 for my team, which is the heal all around us in our ultimate form. Reminder, 1 is your spam, 2 is your knockup, and 3 is your team heal. Sacrifice some of your own HP to heal up your team. Our Morrigan turned into me as well, so we get the double action. You see that Pridvin proc after my ultimate, which actually popped right there and helped us grab a kill. That's why we like that full CDR, baby, on the Cthulhu. It should also be mentioned with our Morrigan. Morrigan is a fantastic pick with Cthulhu because 2 Cthulhus is really hard to deal with. 1 Cthulhu is pretty difficult to deal with while he's in his ultimate, especially if he's ahead. But 2 Cthulhus is actually a strategy that we saw pop out at Worlds last season. It was a very interesting pick in the SPL, and it still holds to this day. I'm gonna pop my thorns while I'm inside of this Poseidon stuff. Pop my 3, just get right at him. And with all these bonus cooldowns, I've just got my abilities up all the time. So my abilities aren't hitting super hard right now, right? But I am hitting them super frequently. And while they're hitting frequently, I'm also getting some HP back from all of my vampiric stuff. Ultimate's coming back up. I'm gonna throw my 2 into the back line, trying to look for that Loki. We have the Fire Giant healing us. What I want to do is I want to dash in 1 and then use my ultimate. So I'm gonna go in for the dash. There's the 1, there's the ulti, so I can follow the Loki. Loki is in stealth, but I'm using my AoEs to follow him. And he has to use his ultimate to get out. That's a big win. I am now behind them. I'm gonna use my 3 before I come out of this to pop 1 more heal for my team. And then I'm gonna start going back and tanking that right side tower. So as a solo laner, of course, your job is not to peel. Your job is to do damage and annoy their backline. So if I was playing Cthulhu as a support, I would be trying to use a lot of my abilities defensively for peel. So I'd be throwing down 2s on top of my Woojer, right, in order to get Lokis off of him. I'd be dashing back towards my team in order to get that little knock up on him. But because I'm the solo lane, it is my job to go in and zone out their mage and their hunter when at all possible. So I'm diving straight into the back line. It is my Horus's job to be peeling for our backline, in this case our Morrigan and our Woojer. Now that doesn't mean because you're not a support that you don't peel at all, but a lot of the times the target that I'm actually probably going to be peeling for is the Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang is going to be diving deep into the backline with me. Morrigan might also end up in that situation where she's in stealth. Maybe she's going for a quick kill in the backline. So if I see one of those people right next to me, that's when I'm going to look to peel for them. I'm not going to be running back looking for the Woojer, but I will look to help out whoever is right next to me, which this game is probably going to be the Kuang most often, followed by that Morrigan. Because I do have some decent CC in my kit. Now, I haven't backed in a long time. I've got 4K gold, so I'm going to try to grab this blue buff to get the level 20. Level 20 right now is so ridiculously important because you get to rank up that starter item. Now, on the Vamp Shroud, you've got 2 options. You've got the Blood Choke Shroud and the Sacrificial Shroud. I am a firm believer that Sacrificial Shroud is just plain better, but it will cost you HP when you use abilities. So every time I use an ability now, it's going to take 5% of my HP, but I'm doing 15% more damage. It also gives me some lifesteal, which combines with all of the magical lifesteal I get from those Shoes of the Magi. Those are called Shoes of the Magi, so they also called Shoes of the Magi. I also going to rank up my Thorns here for the end of the game and my teleport to make sure that I can get back into these fights quick. Got 40 seconds left on our fire, so we should be pushing our luck right now. So I'm going to W key straight at these guys. I'm going to be a little bit less tanky than I was, but I'm going to be like 3 times as annoying for those in the back line. Chernobog is probably just going to ulti over at us. I'm going to preemptively pop my Chalice for some healing. Cucullin has already used his jump, so he's actually a decent target for me. So I'm going to dash right on here at the back line, pop my Thorns preemptively before I go into my ultimate. We're going to be able to grab so many kills right now. Now we got 3 people dead. They've still got a Chernobog over right. I'm going to pop my ultimate again, actually, to get out of this, because we should be able to go for the end of the game right here. Poseidon's beads are down. I'm keeping my eyes on him, though. As he comes back into this, I'm going to dash towards him, try to keep him away from my team. He has to use his Aegis. I am tanking this Titan right now. I gotta be careful. They got respawns in 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure he might still have Kraken up, so I gotta be a little bit careful about our positioning. And we actually might not be able to end this game. We did not get enough damage onto that Titan. We lost a lot of our big damage dealers, so we actually need to run out of this one now. We gotta be careful about going to open that door, but we should be able to kill the Poseidon before he even gets over here. So we make that a nice little 1-for-1 trade. Loki is on his way back. I'm trying to open this door for me and the Morrigan. Throwing a 2 behind us. Looks like there might be a Loki trying to follow her, but I do not have anything really up to help. But I'm going to try to stick around just in case. No, it doesn't look like she's going to be able to live quite long enough for my abilities to come back up. So I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. You can see every time I use ability, I'm losing a little bit of HP. So I'm going to pop my ultimate right here, try to get some of that bonus HP, and then I'm going to deform out of it for that Pridven proc, but it's not going to matter. So I tried to deform out for that quick Pridven proc and then use my dash again to get out. Not going to be able to make it. One of the big benefits of that Chernobog, luckily he does go down. So now here for my last item, I've got a couple of options. You can actually embrace the lifesteal and do something for your team. You could do something like a Pythag's piece and get your team some lifesteal going. This is also slightly a defensive item. So I can help out as well. You get the HP, your whole team gets lifesteal. It's a little bit more aggressive. This build I would call medium aggressive, but a lot of the Guardian builds end up like this in solo. The Warriors end up a lot tankier because they get the Glad shield that they really get to build all these protections off of, and the Warriors axe that they really get to utilize well. So let's embrace the fact that we've gone this lifesteal. We already have the lifesteal from Shroud and Magi. Pythag's piece is going to help our team, give them some more power and some lifesteal, and put us in a nice position. So I've got my teleport up. I'm going to teleport right to this ward near my Horus. But it's going to actually get killed by their Horus. Looks like they did not keep their Horus off of my teleport, and so that's going to take my teleport. That's a bit of a misplay there by our boy Meaty Claude.
Your middle tower.
He should have CC'd him off of that so we could have gotten to it. Luckily, I'm just going to be able to walk there in time. But their Horus just kind of got to sit there and destroy one of our wards. Remember, you do have to pop the thorns before you go into your ultimate if you're planning it on using it in that manner. Popping my chalice right now. I saw Loki go off to the left-hand side, so he is going to be my main target. I'm dashing into him. He is still over here in stealth. Going to go ahead and pop my thorns preemptively, waiting for the opportunity. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab myself into my ult. Going to kill him in stealth. Turn around, pop a little heal for my team. We got to watch out for the Poseidon wherever he is. There he is. I'm diving into him in the back line. Gonna put as much damage as I can. One more two before I deform for the knockup. Gonna try to dash into him and hit him with the root. I know he doesn't have the beads, but Horus is actually gonna interrupt me out of that, and they're all gonna turn off us. Our team is actually, our whole team is dead, and I have top damage and top mitigated, which is a little bit concerning. We're not getting a lot of damage off in these fights with our front line. Our Uller, Quang, Mori aren't getting a whole lot of damage off. So what we probably are going to need to start doing is start rolling back a little bit into the back line and maybe try to peel a little bit more. It really shouldn't be my job to peel. But if your big damage boys are getting killed, then sometimes you got to make that exchange on the fly, and we'll try to get some of these people off of them. But that really should be the Horus's job. Maybe he's dying too quick to do it or something, but because we should have lots of damage on this team. So much damage. I'm gonna wait around in base for that Pythag's piece. No need to rush out of here. We're going to be defending our Phoenixes anyway. They do not have the Enhanced Fire. Enhanced Fire still spawns at that 30-minute marker. Uller gets caught out by the Gold Fury, so now we got to be really careful. That's a 60-second death timer at this point in the game, so we want to get some wards out in front of our doors. In front of and behind of your doors are two of the most crucial ward spots right now in the ultra late game. So you want to make sure, preferably, you have both of those areas sentry warded. If you can't get them sentryed, then a regular will have to do outside the walls. Really no point to put a regular on the inside of the walls. Huge wave over right lane. We're going to try to go clear this before they shove up left lane. So the second that we clear this, we back it up. We need to get ourselves over to left lane. I can grab myself another sentry ward in case they try to counter that outside ward. And I need to be there in order to front line if they go for this Phoenix. My Thorns is up. We show some presence, so they've got to go to the tier 2 middle instead. We can see them all rotating over there because of that ward that we have.
Under attack. Your left Phoenix is under attack. Your middle tower has been destroyed.
If they just want to get the tier 2s and chill, that is a win for us. So we don't need to do anything crazy. There's really no reason for them to chill off of this. It looks like they're just going to switch the lane that they're shoving up. And we need to watch out for that Kraken. Our defenses are a lot more physical heavy. You can see we've gotten 215 compared to 138. But they've got 4 physicals and only 1 magical, so we just need to be very careful. Cullen is going hard on the back line, and so is Loki, so I'm going to try to just dash back here and peel. Unfortunately, we're going to immediately lose.
Ally has been slain. An enemy
We're going to immediately lose our Uller, but we're getting a lot of good damage off in this fight. I'm gonna need to go ahead and dash myself out of this one. We do make that a 1-for-1 trade for now. It should also be noted that you cannot accidentally kill yourself with Shroud, just so you know. There's no bringing yourself down to 0 HP with the item. Our boys continue the fight outside of the Phoenix range, which is not what we should be doing right now. And unfortunately, now we've got a 30-second timer to live. We had just done really good in that fight, getting them off of the Phoenix. And so what we needed to do was to continue to sit back underneath the Phoenix. But they got too greedy, and they went for those quick kills. And they got caught out, and that's probably going to cost us the game. But that's a good learning experience. Just because you get a kill when you're defending that Phoenix, you have to be careful, especially if you're going against somebody with the Fire Giant, because they're gonna have a lot of sustain. And so they push out outside of the Phoenix range, which would have kept us totally safe. We still had 3 people alive. Instead, what we should have done is we should have regrouped on that Phoenix in order to defend it 3v4 again. That would have been the play there at the end of the game. Don't get too greedy. Don't get baited outside of your Phoenixes, because you'll find yourself in trouble. Looking at our damage numbers, you can see we were missing a little bit in the damage department. While we were built a little bit more hybrid damagey, we still really probably shouldn't have the top damage on our team / in the game. But at the very end there, if we would have sold our boots, the game really doesn't usually get that far. It would have been probably something strictly in the magical defense realm. Something like a Talisman of Energy probably would have been good for our team. Gives me HP and magical defenses while also giving us movement speed and attack speed as a team to benefit the squad as a whole, guys. And that is our Cthulhu solo guide.